used to work in a factory.
You could do Chuck's job.
Chuck's job. I used to have that job.
That was my job.
You push around the garbage can.
So was that the one banana chip show there, buddy?
What do you do for another one, huh?
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, you just to kind of get between.
I'll tell you a little story about my maybe from my teen years. Maybe not necessarily like a story, but just I don't know, things I did back then. Yeah, I was a farm kid. Grew up on a dairy farm. Wasn't a whole hell of a lot to do around there, Western New York. So, I don't know, me and a few friends, we used to drive around looking for parties and get fucking high all the time. We probably drove around looking for parties more than we ever actually found parties. Well, we used to just fuck off. We'd go down into gravel pits and get stoned and just fucking blow donuts and shit. Drive around in the mud and water and just, be fucking stupid. And I used to fuck up my truck that way. But man, I remember one time we went down in the gravel pits and we rolled this, like, somebody had a big bag of leaf and we rolled up this cigar-sized fucking joint and just three of us smoked the damn thing, got so fucking ripped. We just, tore up the fucking gravel pit and I don't know, we just went off and I think we found a party that night and partied down. But yeah, I was kind of a I guess I was kind of a miserable teenager in a lot of ways. I wasn't very happy. There was a lot of problems at home, and it kind of gave me a bad fucking attitude. Kind of carried over into school, and vice versa, I guess. I just had to put up with the bullshit all day in school, and then go home and do chores and. Me and my old man didn't fucking get along very well at the time. But yeah, I used to get stoned a lot. Smoked a lot of pot. I'd be stoned milking the fucking cows, listening to music. I'd be stoned milking cows, listening to a lot of metal and I listened to everything from Black Flag, Misfits, and bands like that, Dead Kennedys. Then I'd listen to listen to everything from that to Metallica and Slayer and bands of the day, late '80s thrash bands. And then I'd listen to Jimi Hendrix and Jefferson Airplane, 60s psychedelic shit. I listened to a lot of different things, but the music was always blasting, and I was always stoned, milking cows and shoveling shit. I was 14 the first time I ever smoked marijuana, and I don't know if I ever, I'm sure I would have tried it at some point anyway, but I think what really got me curious about it actually was it was like the latter days of the Reagan administration when they went on TV that one night, the whole Just Say No, that's when that came about. Nancy Reagan's Just Say No, and I heard that and everything, and I think partly it was an act of rebellion because I knew these people, you know, this old fucking president, Ronald Reagan, and the first lady. It just, there was no way in hell I could get fucking behind them. You know, I'm gonna fucking listen to what they had to say. So I think partly, you know, it was just listening to those wrinkled turds talk about shit. It was just like, wait a minute. They're telling me not to do something, like I'm gonna listen to them. And I think I also thought, well, just say no. What am I saying no to? I had no idea at all what getting high was all about. You know, I probably got a buzz once or twice off some beer, you know, prior to that, but I wanted to know what it was about, so, you know, I knew the kids at school and the neighborhood and whatnot who people said smoked pot, so I just, you know, I started hanging out with them and, you know, got turned on to it. Yeah, it took a while. You know, it was, you know, it's a heavy thing. It's a heavy thing to deal with. It's like anything, like any medicine or whatever. It's like you definitely can abuse it. And I know I've abused it more than my share in my life, but this is something some people end up going through, you know. You know, I'm not advocating it or putting it down either way. I'm just talking about what I've been through and my experience, and I just think whether it's good or bad, it's just not, the whole issue just isn't being properly dealt with today. And you know, I don't know, I think the DARE program works when the kids are young, but shit, I know teenagers, you know, it seems like a lot of teenagers now are just, you know, I don't know, they say use is down and everything. I don't fucking believe it, you know, but I don't know. I reminisce a lot with myself, I guess. I look back, think about things. I'm sure there's people that have had a lot harder upbringings than mine, but yeah, mine was a struggle. I think I'm probably still coming to terms with it. I haven't fully come to terms with it. Every so often I think I have, but man, there's a lot of bad feelings, a lot of hard feelings. You know, and a lot of the problems were between me and my dad, and you know, later on, as I got older, we kind of worked most of that out, and things are pretty good. Then he ended up with cancer, and we lost him. He got sick in '99 and had surgery and had a pretty good comeback. But then about a year later, you know, we found out he had it and again, or you know, maybe they didn't get all of it from before, and you know, he was dead 3 months later. It was just too far. So it's tough thinking back to those times and thinking how shitty things were, and just when we just started to finally see eye to eye on most things and really enjoy each other's company and whatnot, you know, we lost him. I lost him. But nobody said life was fair. It's the way the fucking ball bounces sometimes. I guess I learned. I guess it didn't even take me a whole lot to come to terms with the fact that the creator, whoever the creator is, just kind of has a plan. You know, these things are just the way it is. And it's not, I don't know, really death's not that big of a fucking deal. It is, you know, it is to us mortals who think on, you know, just think on this plane, on this level, but I reckon, like a lot of people do, that we die and we just fucking come back. We just incarnate again, so Dad, you know, he might be some little baby right now or something, or maybe he hasn't come back yet, or I don't know, whatever, but he'll probably live another life, just like I will when I fucking die. You know, it's all about lessons. That's what life is in general, whether you have one life or many, it's all about fucking lessons. And whether you learn the damn things or not. You know, I think a reason for being here is just to learn. Not just simply to learn. I mean, there's other things. I think we need to, you know, we need to give a shit about each other. We, you know, we need to love each other. I guess you know, at the risk of sounding like a hippie or something, but yeah, you know, we just need to give a shit. But learning is all. It's all part of that. And I guess we need to learn to give a shit, learn to love. You know, we should always try to be bettering ourselves. And that's, you know, doesn't necessarily have a whole lot to do with making more money and moving up the fucking ladder. It's about being a human being. It's about being part of this planet and being part of this human family. You know, cooperation over competition. That's what life should be about. Life's about making people laugh.
Oh, it's good. Trust me. Oh, did he get nudged out of the way?
Mm-hmm.
These rustigoats all have they all have tags in their ears. They're gonna get farmed out to those camps that FEMA is setting up for all of us.
When do we get to go?
Oh, soon.
Hey, John.
Oh.
About as soon as FEMA see this show.
You had a friend, John.
Yeah,
I wouldn't get my finger in there. Yeah.
No, they like to bite fingers off.
I know. I played with him before.
I have one living in my house.
They're pretty nasty little animals.
No, they're not.
Yeah, but they're very pretty for being nasty.
Hey,
That's how they
I'm
lure.
trying to photograph you. Stop fucking around. Aw. Hey, Cornelius. Oh, there. And only here on Abbey the Lemur will you see monkey cock.
There's a name for a band. Can you tell he probably gets a lot of attention for this?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what kind is the question?
Well, apparently it's a big thing. I mean, no pun intended.
Well, I got a lot of stories. I probably need them. I don't know. I probably should embellish them or whatnot and make them more entertaining. But, kind of go back to teen years and adventures and whatnot. When I got out of high school, I was just. When I got out of high school, I was completely disillusioned with everything. I was just, I was young, and I was wet behind the ears, and I didn't fucking know a whole lot. I probably didn't have, I probably had no, like, I was too young and naive and green to really know a whole lot about what the hell's going on, what life was about, and the nature of things, and wasn't ready for adulthood, I guess. But I don't know. I was just I was angry. Kind of like, I guess, what I was talking about before. But I was just fed up and sick of everything. I felt like it was a bullshit system that I was being told I had to become part of. And I'd already been part of the, this public school system. And I was pretty much just ready to drop out. Like I read about all, the 60s generation who'd kind of become my heroes at the time, the time I was getting out of high school. I was kind of part of the whole, like, wannabe hippie, generation. Just, certain part of Generation X, I guess, went through the whole retro hippie type of thing. Deadheads and shit. But anyways, so I hadn't applied to any colleges. I wanted to walk across the country. I wanted to just bum around the country. So what I ended up doing was, I heard about the Rainbow family, rainbow gatherings, and heard a little bit about where they're happening, and that summer of '91, after I graduated, I just spent the whole summer just kind of hanging out, just with money from graduation people gave me, and I got a few little, like, small scholarships. That probably would have, if I would have went to school, they probably would have, like, covered my books and for like one semester or maybe two. It was like, not a whole lot of money, but I partied on it for a while, basically. I took that money and I had some money in the bank. I just spent the whole summer partying. I told my dad that I was pretty much that I wasn't working on the farm anymore. I still lived at home, and nobody busted my balls about doing anything with the farm. And so I hung out and everything. Well, then I heard there was one of those rainbow gatherings happening in the vicinity, down in Pennsylvania from where I lived in New York. So I went down there and I started hanging out there. And, I'd spend a weekend down there. And, I ended up spending a few days at a time over the course of a month while the people were there. So I was exposed to all kinds of new shit, and just different ideas about living. And a lot of it was kind of what I had been dreaming about. So I ended up, at the end of that summer, I ended up taking off, I went on the road for a couple months, just just like going to rainbow gatherings and hanging out with rainbow people in different places. And you know, the first thing I did, me and a couple of friends of mine, we took off from New York and drove down to South Carolina to a rainbow gathering, and it was just like, I was just like a kid in a fucking candy store. I was just like, you know, a kid away from home on his own for the first time. You know, I was like getting fucked up all the time. I was lucky nothing happened to me. You know, I was eating acid. I ate acid and didn't eat, like, I did acid and fasted for like 3 days. You know, it was like this total weird scene. There's all, you know, rainbow gatherings in general, but this one in particular stands out to me, and maybe because it was one of my first ones, but I don't know, it stands out to me when I think about all the ones I've been to. You know, and it was like this trippy South Carolina woods, and there were a lot of snakes and bugs there. I remember the first night I was there, I was tripping my ass off on mushrooms, and this one dude that I knew from the gathering before, his name's Mark, and he's ended up becoming a pretty good friend of mine that I talk to this day. But yeah, I was like walking around the gathering, just tripping my nuts off on shrooms. And Mark had this like fluorescent green snake that he'd caught, and it was winding around his arm and all kinds of shit. He asked me if I wanted to touch it, and I was just, you know, like I just couldn't do it. I wasn't afraid of it, but it was just like, I don't know. And there was like all these weird people. I'd hardly ever seen, up to that point, I'd hardly ever seen anyone with dreadlocks. And there was this dude that was all on some kind of Krishna / Rastafari trip, you know, like that's what his beliefs were, like a kind of a combination of Rasta and Hare Krishna kind of stuff. But anyways, it's like he was a white dude, and he had these long blonde dreads that, being really light blonde, you could see like all the dirt and shit in them. And I had this American flag blanket wrapped around me, and he was calling me Captain America. But he was a trip. He'd walk around naked at that gathering. In the daytime, he'd be all covered with mud and shit, so he wouldn't get a sunburn.
Oh, oops.
Wow.
Oh, monkey.
That's an aggressive monkey.
Give me the stick.
No.
I'm going to beat you over the head with it.
Hi, monkey. Hey. Rudy? He's a sweetie monkey. Is he a bear? What's that? Not yet. Wow. Woo. Wow. Cool. You know him, huh? Okay. We're going to see if he's willing to
Take a bribe.
pick a bribe. Here, let's just cash here. Yeah, here, just, yeah. Well, okay, there you go.
What the hell is this?
Okay, maybe he's not WorldCom material.
No, I think he's ready to be a CEO here. Oh, there we go.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
You know that's illegal.
Well, I've heard of being money hungry, but aren't you taking that to the extreme?
Oh my god. Should I have it back now, please?
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be much good now.
forget what I said. This guy's an Enron executive.
Eating money with a raging heart on. I tell you. He has a... Oh my god. Yay.
Money gives me power. You like the money better than the carrot.
I know.
Exactly. That's it. That's it. I'm not giving you a 5.
So may change.
Yeah, hang around and see if he spits out nickels.
Quarter. If I don't see the quarter anymore, maybe I already ate that.
People, you know, rainbow gatherings will just, there's a lot of nudist type people go there. Just, yeah, I mean, people go naked at rainbow gatherings. A lot of women will go topless, you know, at least. But, you know, some fully nude, and dudes, you know, go fully nude and shit. I got fucked up enough, and I went around naked a little bit. That's never really been a big thing of mine. But, yeah, I was just hallucinating shit on them shrooms. Shrooms are really fucked up like that, because shrooms, at least with me, it's like, people think shrooms aren't as intense as acid and everything. They don't last as long as LSD. But when I'm on shrooms, I'll hallucinate shit, and I'm not sure if it's real or not. With acid, I always know that it's just because I'm fucked up. You know, when I see or hear something that don't seem quite right. But anyways, back to the shrooms and the gathering. We got them fuckers. We got them shrooms, like, on our way down there. We got to this rest area, and there was a deadhead who was on tour and shit, and we were shooting the shit with him. He gave us like a whole ounce of mushrooms, just kicked it down for nothing. And we took it, and we waited till we got to the gathering, and did them and shit. It was just the first time I'd ever done them. I just knocked my fucking dick in the dirt. But so we hung around. We must have hung around that South Carolina gathering for, I guess, a week, and then it was over. Maybe we were there longer than that. I can't remember. But yeah, I did so much shit. It was like, I'm just really lucky that everything worked out all right. But from there we ended up, we went to Knoxville, Tennessee, because we met this woman there, and well, my friend Tron kind of knew her from other gatherings that he'd been to, but so she was hanging out with us, and we said we'd give her a ride out of there. And she'd hung, like, Knoxville was kind of her stomping grounds. She said there was a farm we could stay at and everything, so she took us there, and we stayed at Rollo's farm. That's how I met Rollo. And that's somebody that, Rollo's a dude that I still talk to today. Fucking character. And Knoxville, Tennessee's like, well, it's a pretty cool town, but like Rollo's place is, at least in the day, back in those days, it was like, there were always like a lot of rainbow people hanging out there. It was like a crash pad. People, when they were traveling, they'd stop. They always knew they could stop and at least, like, you know, park their car or van or whatever and sleep, you know, at Rollo's place. But people would hang out longer. People, you know, they'd kind of freeload. They'd, you know, like drain bows, I guess you'd call them. But yeah, there was always something going on at Rollo's, and you know, I ended up going back to Rollo's quite a few times over the years, and kind of living there for a few months at a time and shit, but you know, I'd get jobs and so anyways, yeah, that's my first time away from home and everything. Did the South Carolina gathering, then went to Knoxville and hung out there for a bit at Rollo's and I don't know. Now the story's getting boring. Fuck it. That's where I met the people that wear hospital clothes and they don't work at a fucking hospital. You know, I've heard me go off on that before about these people wearing hospital scrubs and, you know, it's just, they just wear them out like in their daily, you know, it's just their clothes, you know. It's just, it always seems kind of fucked up to me. And women do not look attractive in hospital scrubs. I don't think I've seen a woman yet who looks good in them. Just like women don't look good in, like that shit that Tyson Foods makes their employees wear, like khaki fucking clothes and shit. And women don't look good in uniforms like that. Oh shit, we're losing tape. Oh, that was good, that's what I wanted to do anyways, coming to the end of this fucking tape. But yeah, hospital scrubs, Tyson khakis, I don't know. Women really look best, you know, with nothing on. Well, I don't know. Depends on the woman. Probably think I'm a fucking hog. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm your brother, Panda, damn it. I just try to be a brother to all the women, you know, just think of me as your brother, you know. If I see your tits and everything, I just won't think anything of it. I'll show you mine, they're probably bigger. Won't you sup upon my man breasts?
Jesus.
Do you have some squirt stuff on your windshield wipers?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Don't bite me.
Okay, I guess we just start rolling or something. You want to come back around or something? Take Mr. Monkey with us.
Can you like see him?
Yeah, he's up on top of the car.
He's moving towards the front.
No.
Does he still like the cans? Those cans on top of the car.
Probably.
Hold on a second, I'm trying to find your stuff here. They wanted to see the monkey. Ah, fuck them. Hey, Mr. Monkey. Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, you guys think that's pretty cool, don't you? We took off with your goddamn entertainment. Teach you to honk at me, bitch.
Keep everything's right. There wasn't a time for everything that is right. No proposals are clean. No smoke is in here. Get out, neat and easy. Go out and find a job. Keep your hair kept down. There's nothing in here. There is nothing in here. And it wants to the head. And it wants to his head. There is nothing in here. There was a time when everything was alright. You always said so much about everything. There was a time when everything was fine. Yeah, we had a deal that keep us to the street. There was a time when you said I was nice. It took years to understand what you said to me. There was a time when we no longer existed, and you ran away from me and I left you. There was a time for everything's right. I'm living to rule where I belong. I drive away from you. I kiss my body down. My head touch the ground. It's no stop for me. It's no stop for me. It's no stop for me. He said, it's no stop for me. I said, say goodbye to your things. Say goodbye to the rest. Be a close of yourself. Be a piece of meat. Be everything you can. Take them back to waste. Take me with you. Take the prisoners out. This is a nice garden. This is where I belong. This is a place of supper. Let me take you with me.